I seen the JLo tape.
You have?
Yeah.
Is it for real?
Wait a second. You've seen the JLo tape? Really? Who's on it with her? Who's having with P. Diddy?
Oh, no, she got, some women, some guys,
Really?
And that's for real.
It's, put it to you like this. Pamela Lee is PG.
Really?
Actor JLo.
Are you in this video? Did you star in this video?
No, I was at a penitentiary.
But how did you get it?
Well, certain things you just don't talk about.
They go raid Puffy's house, and they get all these videos of JLo doing this and JLo doing that.
Jennifer Lopez is reportedly furious and feels humiliated by Ben Affleck, who has suddenly slowed down the divorce proceedings with JLo. Apparently it's been dead silence between them. So what caused all this in the first place? Well, a new report saying it's the Diddy tapes.
Hollywood's trending couple, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, have finally called it quits, and the internet is in full frenzy mode trying to piece together what led to their shocking divorce. Ben Affleck is reportedly revealing that JLo's past with Diddy is the main reason they're no longer together. According to rumors, Ben couldn't get over finding clips of JLo and Diddy, who were madly in love back in 1999.
What did you learn in your relationship with Sean Combs? It was a very productive relationship.
It was. It was.
And some bad press also.
Oh God, I mean, we went through some very traumatic events together, I learned a lot about the music business with him. I also, learned, personally some things that, I've always not been one to talk too much about that, but just, it just helped me grow. It helped me grow to, what I wanted and kind of learning to stand up for myself and things like that in a future relationship.
He was larger than life, but at first I didn't like him at all. I didn't. I thought he was like, I didn't like him because Sean and I were very different that way. I was very family oriented and kind of a the married type. I was actually, when we first worked together in the video, I was married. Even though I was going through problems, nobody knew that. You know what I mean? And I wanted my family, and even though at that time it was not going well, that was who I was. That's how I was raised.
The two kept in touch over the next few years, and when Jennifer left her marriage, they became much more than just friends.
Once I got to know him, and we became friends first, and then we developed this bond. We both understood where we were at that time in our lives, and we both knew nobody else understood exactly how we felt. So sitting there, handcuffed to a bench, I do remember feeling the comfort of someone caring about you enough that, they just wanted to make it okay, and couldn't believe that we were in this situation and how did this happen.
They're always dressed to impress. MTV couldn't get enough of them. Remember TRL? Anywhere they went, paparazzi followed. This was a different time. Everyone wanted to know what they were going to wear. Puffy's white party, Loved Up, and everyone was like, OMG, they're so cute. Then December 1999, they go to a party in New York. There are pew-pews involved. They both get arrested. Later, JLo was off the hook. I vividly remember people were like, goodness gracious, poor JLo, she's with a bad boy, they should break up. But they didn't. They went to the Grammys together. She wore this Versace gown. Everyone lost their minds. They coordinated wearing matching white outfits at the MTV Video Music Awards. Then it came all crashing down. Valentine's Day 2001, they announced they broke up. 7 months later, she married Chris Judd. And then they divorced after 9 months. Diddy and Kim Porter reconciled, although maybe they were seeing each other in between, and who knows who else he was seeing.
Jennifer Lopez and Diddy were one of the most iconic couples of the late 90s, and they were together until 2001. Their breakup, however, wasn't exactly smooth. In a 2003 interview with Vibe magazine, JLo revealed that infidelity on Diddy's part was the major reason for their split.
But in Jennifer Lopez, Puffy believed he had found someone who shared his passion and ambition.
I was a dancer, she was a dancer. I was ambitious, she was ambitious. I was a workaholic, she was a workaholic. At first, all of those things was working in our benefit.
When Jennifer's marriage came to an end in 1998, they were finally able to embark on the romance they had been resisting.
Things started to happen. I started looking into her eyes more, spending more time with her. and I just fell in love with him.
To have somebody who by your side who understands what you're going through, and at the end of the day doesn't need anything from you except to love you.
She was one of the nicest, most beautiful people that I had met, you know.
Even if you were broke, my love don't cost a thing.
Next, a night out leads to a shootout.
The papers and the TV reports were looking like I was about to go to jail for a long time.
And then hip-hop's royal couple calls it quits.
The relationship took all they could take, and it had broke right in the middle of the trial. It was like devastating, you know.
When Behind the Music continues. Puff Daddy entered 1999 on top. His net worth was calculated at close to $250 million.
It's all about the Benjamins, what? I get it.
And he had expanded his empire to include a street-inspired fashion line called Sean John and a trendy New York restaurant he named Justin's after his son.
Puffy was on a roll. He had Jennifer Lopez on his arm. This sultry Latino singer, and he's the king of rap.
We were both in love with each other. We like to spend every moment and every second with each other.
The paparazzi was unbelievable. I had never seen that like that. It was like a movie.
When Puffy showed up at the 2000 Grammys with Jennifer Lopez on his arm in a Versace dress that defied the laws of physics, he was the envy of men everywhere.
I don't really know how long it took her to get into the dress, because I was being dressed in the other room. But I know it only took me a second to get her out of it.
But over the course of the next year, Puffy's charmed life would be tainted by tabloid headlines. In April of '99, Puffy was arrested for Interscope Records executive Steve Stout, following a business dispute. Music critics who KO'd his set. Rolling Stone called the record too eager to please, giving it a
About Puffy, I know I may get my again. Puffy got a new album called Forever. Forever? What you trying to say, Puff? Forever? You know if the album don't sell, the next one gonna be called, how about 3 more months? Come on!
There was a time, you know, to be...
The relationship with Jennifer Lopez was starting to suffer from the excessive demands of their careers.
She has to work a lot, I have to work a lot, and it's like the distance and everything start putting a strain on the relationship.
And a looming scandal would prove lethal to their romance. On December 27th, 1999, Jennifer and Puffy decided to kick off their New Year's holiday at a Manhattan disco called Club New York.
I wish I would have just stayed my at home and chill with Jennifer. I just wish the whole night wouldn't have happened.
At the club, they partied with a large entourage, including bad boy rapper Jamal Shine Barrow.
They were in the VIP section. People were looking at them. Puffy was dancing. He had 2 bubblies in his hand.
Around 2 a.m., Puffy and his crew started to make their way out of the club.
Puffy's still giving her high fives, shaking hands, embracing people, you know, telling them Happy New Year and different things. And he goes over to high five someone, and this guy just pulls away. And of course, that was a diss.
A scuffle broke out between several club goers and members of Puffy's entourage.
The guy who refused to shake Puffy's hand, you know, comes up and, you know, started attacking Puffy and saying, you know, you're real rapper, you know, you're punk, and you're not the only one with money.
He approached Puffy in a taunting way and said, "You're nothing and I have money too." And in a taunt gesture, threw money in Puffy's direction.
As the confrontation escalated, witnesses claim Shine Barrow reached for a gun.
He drew a weapon, fired 3 or 4 shots. Once the shots were fired, all hell broke loose.
3 people were hit by stray bullets, and the crowd rushed to the exits.
There's enough fire, everybody hits the ground. We get out of there, we just fleeing the scene, kind of just getting away from harm, not really understanding what just went on.
Puffy and Jennifer jumped into their SUV and ordered the driver to speed away.
Don't stop.
Police say they ran 11 red lights before they were pulled over. An officer searched the vehicle and found a loaded 9mm handgun under the front passenger seat.
They say that we were evading police and I had a gun.
Puffy was booked and held on gun possession charges, igniting a media frenzy.
I want to make this 100% clear. I had nothing to do with a shooting in this club.
Days of deliberations, the jury now appears to be focusing on the gun possession and bribery charges against Sean Puffy Combs. This afternoon, jurors sent the judge 2 notes, one of which asked for a transcript of a phone message Combs left Wardell Fenderson, once his driver, now the prosecution's star witness. During the trial, Fenderson testified that Combs was armed the night of the shooting at Club New York, and later pressured him to claim ownership of a pistol police found when they pulled over Combs' Lincoln Navigator as it fled the shooting.
And I just want to make you feel like comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Make your family feel comfortable.
What exactly Combs meant by that is in dispute, but the prosecution claims the rapper offered Fenderson $50,000 or a diamond ring to take the rap for the gun. The jurors also wanted to hear a readback of testimony relating to Combs' former girlfriend, actress-singer Jennifer Lopez, who was in the Navigator when it was stopped by police. An officer testified that everyone in the SUV was ordered to put their hands on the vehicle, but Lopez walked away, saying she was going home. As she was being detained, a gun was discovered in the vehicle. At that point, a sergeant on the scene ordered everyone who was in the vehicle under arrest. The officer quotes Lopez as saying, "It's not my gun."
They are floating issues that are old.
JLo finally speaks out about her relationship with Diddy.
Just one of those breakups that really, it was like a tough one for me.
Bye, boy to him.
Things were allegedly so bad that JLo had a nervous breakdown. In the interview, she said, "I was like, I don't want to move. I don't want to talk. I don't want to do anything. I had a nervous breakdown." It's speculated some of the movie Enough is inspired by her relationship with Diddy.
What do you think?
After Diddy moved on to date Kim Porter and JLo eventually married Ben Affleck, Hollywood thought things had settled. But now, Jennifer Lopez has officially filed for divorce from Ben Affleck, leaving everyone wondering why.
The news Bennifer is no more wasn't exactly a shock. There have been signs of trouble for months. People magazine reports that Jennifer Lopez wanted to work things out, but Ben Affleck did not. Jim Murray says that's why there's speculation that Jennifer picked a specific date to file divorce papers, the couple's second wedding anniversary.
Jennifer Lopez is said to be heartbroken after announcing her split from Ben Affleck.
How's single life, Ben?
Photographers spotted Affleck out for the first time since the news broke. He was photographed in LA wearing jeans and a gray shirt. Jennifer filed paperwork yesterday on the second anniversary of their Georgia wedding. The documents list their official separation date as April 26th, and their full names Jennifer Lynn Affleck and Benjamin Giza Affleck.
For months, we've known from sources that Ben and Jen have been struggling in their marriage, and we're hearing that she finally was just done waiting. She was open to trying to make their marriage work and try and fix their issues, but he showed no interest, and now she is ready to take charge and move on with her life.
Ben and Jen have been living apart for months. Last month, Ben bought the $20 million bachelor pad behind me here in Los Angeles. Jen is also in LA, but has spent most of her summer in New York. Now get this, Jen and Ben reportedly don't have a prenup, and she filed for divorce without an attorney.
Without an attorney? Without an attorney.
And no prenup.
Right.
And on their wedding anniversary.
And on their wedding anniversary.
So if they had no prenup, they're married for 2 years, whatever they earned or acquired during marriage, to the extent that it's still around, would have to be divided equally.
The first warning signs of marital strife came in February 2023, after Jennifer snapped at Ben, who looked miserable during the Grammys. 3 months later, after a coffee run in Los Angeles, Jen got into the car and Ben slammed the door. JLo attended this year's Met Gala alone. In July, they put their $60 million mansion on the market, and Ben was noticeably absent from her Bridgerton-themed 55th birthday party in the Hamptons. Ben and Jen famously got engaged in 2002 and called it off just 2 weeks before the wedding. It was straight out of a fairy tale when they rekindled their romance 17 years later. Now, their second chance at love has come to an end.
It made me sad to hear this. But listen, I love that she goes for love. She's made no secret of the fact.
She's looking for love, she wants love, and she goes for it.
Jennifer Lopez finally files for divorce from Ben Affleck, something we all saw coming for a long time, but in the end, a lot of major twists to this story. Charles here for TMZ. We just broke this story on the website. And I got to tell you, we knew this was coming. Obviously, the signs have all been there. We've been talking about it for months. But today, on Tuesday, Jennifer Lopez filed the documents here in Los Angeles. Here's one of the really surprising things here. She filed it without an attorney. She filed it pro per, is what it's called. It means she filed it on her own, no attorney. And the reason that's surprising is we know from our sources that she and Ben have been in discussions for several months now about how to settle this divorce. And the reason that they've been having those discussions, there's no prenup. I think that's going to surprise a lot of people, that two people as successful as they were when they got married 2 years ago, did not get a prenup. And that means that everything they have earned over the last 2 years is community property. Now, a couple things from the documents themselves. Jennifer lists the date of separation as April 26th of this year. Don't know yet if Ben will agree or disagree with that, but that's the date that she's listing. The other thing is that she filed it today on August 20th, and that is significant because this is the second anniversary of their Georgia wedding. Remember, they had a big lavish ceremony in Georgia. They were already legally married though at that point. They got married on July 16th of 2022 in Las Vegas. But the big wedding, the big ceremony where she wore the gown and had all their guests and their friends and family there, that was on August 20th. So filing it today does seem pretty significant, at least the fact that Jennifer filed it today on August 20th. So what happens going forward from this point? We were told that the negotiations will be ongoing. They're still going to have to reach a settlement on how they're going to divide the assets that they've earned over the last 2 years. That also includes property. Remember, they were trying to sell and are still trying to sell their mansion, their Beverly Hills mansion, which they purchased for, I believe it was $60 million or more than $60 million. So they're trying to sell that. That's an asset that they're going to have to split. In the meantime, he has purchased a new home in Brentwood, and Jennifer, we've reported, is still looking for a new home for herself. So things have been testy, we're told, during the negotiations. So much so at times they were not even speaking to each other, but they are going to have to continue finding a way to settle all of this. But now the first domino has fallen, which is Jennifer actually filing divorce documents. And you know, I think some people will say this is the day love died, because everyone wanted this relationship to work out so much after 20 years for them to get back together. Sometimes you think it's a forever marriage, and it just turns out not to be the case.
Meanwhile, Suge Knight has jumped into the mix, dropping some serious bombshells. He's claiming that Ben Affleck saw clips of Jennifer Lopez from Diddy's infamous house raids, and that discovery set off the entire divorce.
The source is Mr. Suge Knight. In his Collect Call series, he spoke about the fact that he believes Ben Affleck divorced JLo. The reason this all happened so quickly was because the FBI gave Affleck tapes of JLo from after the Diddy raids. Now, from a timeline perspective, it's not that far off. It's possible. However, obviously, we have no proof of this. This is a theory. Let's listen to what Suge Knight says, and then we're going to give you an update on things, and I'm going to tell you why I actually am humoring this theory, because could be possible. Here's Suge Knight.
They go raid Puffy's house, and they get all these videos of JLo doing this and JLo doing that. And they know the fact that JLo lied and said that the gun was Sean's or whatever, and sent that man to prison and destroyed his life, and she knew it was Puffy. I'm quite sure they probably called that the FBI gave respect, a courtesy call of Ben Affleck. It's a white man who got respect in the white world.
He's a white man who's got respect in a white world. Would the FBI really call and risk all this? maybe to get JLo to sweat. Honestly, it's possible.
Should have said, we want to show you something. This is about your wife. When he see this that her and Puffy was doing and who they were doing it with, I'm quite sure they gave his ass those tapes. And I'm quite sure he can never look at her the same. I'm quite sure they heading for a divorce. Because, you know, that's a man who had a good life. Great parents, don't spend a lot of money, ain't tripping out paparazzi. He living his life. He got his own team. She been brought all the extra that month. He won't out. He stayed married to JLo, he'd be broke. Instead of just doing movies, he'd be doing Yum Yum Donuts commercials. Next thing he'd be doing these Jack in the Box commercials.
It's possible. Look, it's from Suge Knight. He's bitter. Obviously, he's out there in prison, but the man does have some knowledge, and I can't completely negate this theory. It's a long shot, but the timing also makes sense. The FBI has been working in mysterious ways regarding this Diddy lawsuit. In fact, we'll be talking about that and other stuff today during our live, so I hope you'll join us around 3:30, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us every Tuesday, Thursday here on Popcorn Planet Live. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. But I want to talk to you about that theory and some more updates on Diddy and other news that we're going to be breaking down during our live. But what do you think about all this? Is it possible? Is it just ridiculous? Now, when you go look through all the other headlines that are out there, it does add a new layer to it. We were like, what? Because you're like, what did happen? As we look through this one specifically, why she's furious and humiliated, think about the lens of like, okay, well, maybe he did learn something about her. Maybe he realized, oh crap, I don't want to go down. I don't want anything to do with this woman seeing what she did in the past. Granted, everyone can change, but I don't know. JLo's, that documentary exposed JLo more than I don't know what on earth she was thinking. She's furious. He has humiliated her. He was the one who initiated getting back together. They dated from 2002 to 2004, starring in the movie JLo, as we all know. That was an interesting movie. He humiliated her because she made a big deal. He's the love of her life. They just had 2 weddings 2 years ago. This is some kind of record. They're not young kids. It's true. They were married in Vegas in 2022 and then had another wedding at Affleck's home in Georgia the next month. The movie, as we've dissected that greatest love story never told, in quite big detail. She's a romantic, says our source. She's also a narcissist. We hear that the Hustler star is upset because the couple's respective children are involved, and that's sad. I don't like to make fun of that part of it. They're older, but still, there are 5 kids involved in this. She knew they were going to blend families. She has not fully accepted it's over. Apparently, she was particularly close with Ben's daughter, Violet. Look, that's sad, but Violet is older. I'm sure she can initiate contact if she wants, and hopefully they can figure out a way to end this amicably. We're told Affleck just purchased a $20 million Pacific Palisades home after his marital residence with Lopez was put on the market. He closed that like on her birthday, apparently, JLo's birthday. He's very protective of her. According to TMZ, Affleck and Lopez are no longer speaking, which is slowing down the process.
If things weren't already messy enough, Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, just turned up the heat even more. He's now claiming that Diddy used to cheat on Kim Porter with JLo during their relationship.
When you was around Diddy, did you ever see him put his hands on Jennifer Lopez?
Well, he didn't do any violence to Mrs. JLo. That's why I didn't see any violence. It's a different breed, bro. He wasn't going to risk himself like that. And plus, a lot of people didn't like him. JLo mother didn't like him. Benny Medina didn't like him. You understand? So now, the first thing, if he would have ever touched Miss Lopez in any kind of aggressive way, she would have said something. Man, listen to me. The whole Bronx would have been on Puff. He didn't treat her like that, bro. He didn't do none of that old crazy stuff, that play fight, that beating them with pillows and all that other like that, smothering them and, doing that childish. He didn't do that. I never seen him do that with Miss Lopez at all. So it's a different class. He knew that she was an actress, she was a singer, songwriter, whatever like that, all her accolades. He did put her on a pedestal, but he still was seeing Kim, but he put her on a pedestal. So I don't think that she had those experiences. And then, you know, people only do what you let them do. If he would have did that to her, he would only had one time. You see, when he ran out the club and left her after that shooting at China, she ain't want to be with them no more. Yo, he left her. You know what I mean? So he wasn't going to treat her like, you know, he was treating the rest of them.
But why do you think she haven't spoke up yet? Like, I'm sure she know a lot, right?
I don't think Ms. Lopez, I don't think he treated her that way. You know, I don't think he treated her with any aggression like that. And if he did, it wasn't on my watch. He would always like make excuses like she was about to go off a couple of times in the studio because the girls that was up in there was disrespectful to her. So, but I don't think that she has a story where Puff was trying to be a or was a to her.
I see. But I want to backtrack, right? Because you made a comment, and I want you to go more into detail about it. You said that Diddy, when he was with Jennifer Lopez, he was still saying Kim Porter?
Yeah. Kim couldn't go nowhere. Kim couldn't go nowhere, bro. Kim couldn't have no relationships. Kim couldn't be at no club. If he called Kim's house, and at this time she had this little Spanish-looking girl, and she might have a case. She might have a case. It was Christian babysitter. She might get in touch with a lawyer. Whew. That's all I'm gonna say on that one.
His babysitter, what's the deal with that? What you mean by that?
Kim had a babysitter that Puff had in his pocket, whereas that she would tell everything Kim was doing, every place Kim was going, and I would catch her over at Puff house in the morning, and Christian wasn't there, Justin wasn't there, nobody was there. And I would put her in a cab so she could go home. When I came there some Saturday mornings, Saturday and Sunday morning.
Wow, so the babysitter that was working for Kim Porter, she was going behind her back and telling Diddy everything that she was doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. So the whole time that him and Jennifer Lopez was dating, he was still seeing Kim Porter and controlling her at the same time?
Everything. Knew everything Kim was doing. He didn't have to have cameras, he had eyes and ears.
Jennifer Lopez living her best life at Bruno Mars concert in LA.
I feel like there's a lot of life ahead of me, so I'm very excited about it.
The stars were out for Bruno's grand opening night at the new Intuit Dome, including Angela Bassett, Victoria Justice, Simu Liu, Sophia Bush, Kelsey Ballerini, Chase Stokes, and Meghan Trainor. As for JLo, she was spotted inside the venue laughing with her pal Ashton Kutcher.
You balance it out. It's not easy, but you do your best and you just try to get it all in.
Once the show started, the triple threat was living it up. Billboard host Tetris shared this vid of Jen dancing to Bruno's song, Marry You.
I find myself incredibly blessed.
JLo's night out happened on her estranged husband Ben Affleck's 52nd birthday. Amid rumors, they've called it quits.
We do our best. We do try our best.
Our source says Ben planned to keep things intimate with close friends and family on his special day with his ex-wife, Jennifer Garner, as a shoulder to lean on.
She definitely brings the average up.
Our source says she's there for him every step of the way, and given the involvement of their kids, she's very supportive. Jen also respects his private and personal life and doesn't get too involved.
I really admire her.
On JLo's end, there were no birthday shoutouts for Ben like there were last year. Instead, she posted this glamour shot.
What can I tell you?
Last month, a source told ET Jen and Ben have been trying to focus on their loved ones as they face marital issues, and both are keeping their kids at the forefront of their minds as they move through these changes. It's been a confusing and difficult time for everyone, but all parents involved are doing their best to adapt and be supportive towards one another.
With personal stuff, it's always so strange. I mean, you just never know where your life is taking you, and things happen, and having it on the front page is a whole nother dynamic, you know what I mean?
In the meantime, looks like JLo's doing what she does best, dancing the night away.
You look in the ocean, you see Ben Affleck, and you see Diddy.
That's it! You don't need to worry about Ben. Let me just tell you.
J to the Ella.
I'm just joking.
This interview with Jennifer Lopez resurfacing a decade later in the wake of JLo filing for divorce from Ben Affleck.
You're on a raft.
Yes.
You see two people floating.
Jen's hypothetical coming courtesy of radio host Big Boy back in 2014. The playful question now going viral amid high-profile moments for two exes, Affleck and embattled music mogul Diddy.
You see Ben Affleck, and you see Diddy. That's it! J to the L, give me 5. J to the L.
I'm just
Big
joking.
Boy TV.
Ben,
She's serious.
you know I love you. You know that.
Yeah.
They know it.
You also said that Ben was your first heartbreak.
It was my first kind of heartbreak. You know, just one of those breakups that really, you know, it was like a tough one for me.
JLo now walking that road again, Bennifer 2.0 going through breakup number 2 in 2024. With a source telling ET, Ben and Jen had been miserable in their marriage for months. And nothing has changed after JLo filed the divorce papers herself, only that now it is officially over.
I think that what this signifies is that she's in control of this process. She's not going to be bound by Ben. She's not going to be bound by her attorneys. This is her 4th divorce, so this is not a new process to her.
So, what do you think? Did JLo and Ben call it quits because of P. Diddy? Let us know in the comments below. And if you like this video, hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on any new videos. And until then, fam, keep it real.